Hello, everyone. Good morning or good afternoon, depending on what time you're watching this video. It's me again, Teacher Kent, and we'll continue where we left off, okay? So allow me to share my screen here and allow me to make myself a little bigger there. Now, we talked about habitat, environment, and how animals adapt to their environment. So let me give you another example of an habitat, okay? The next habitat or environment is this, the cold desert or the Arctic, the North Pole or the South Pole. This is the environment. And let's see what animals adapted to living in this environment. The first animal is, oh, do you know what animal is this? This is what we call a sea lion cub. It's a small baby sea lion. What is a sea lion? Well, they're like, how do I say? They're like dolphins that can live on land. And they have hands, but they also can swim and get fish. They are not bears. They're like a combination of a dolphin and a bear because they can live in land and in water. But they need to go out of the water to breathe. Now, how does this animal adapt to living in the Arctic? If you look at it, it has a white coat to stop the cold from going into its body. And if you look, I'm sorry, you can't see it, but at the back, they don't have feet. They have a fin, just like a fish. So they can go in the water, they can swim, and they can use their hands to get fish. That's how this sea lion is able to adapt in the cold Arctic. Next one is, oh, the the cute little penguins. How do the penguins manage to survive? Well, their bodies are so attuned to the cold temperature that if you put them in a hot place, they will die because they also have hairs and their bodies keep the heat from their bodies inside. Oh, look at that. They are so cute. They also have beaks that are very sharp that they can use as a way to get fish for their food. Let's go to the next one. This one is what we call the polar bear. It's so majestic. It's so cool. But class, did you know that North and South Pole, the icebergs are slowly melting? That means less penguins and less sea cubs and less fish. That means the polar bear is becoming extinct. When an animal is becoming extinct, it means that there are less of them on Earth. If the last polar bear dies, there will no longer be a polar bear. And why is the ice melting? It's because the Earth is getting hotter. It's called global warming. Don't worry, we will talk about it. We have a topic about that. But first, let's look at the polar bear. The polar bear, also like the sea lion, has a fur, a very thick white fur, so that they can survive the Arctic. They can also swim, but unlike the sea lion, they don't have fins. They have legs. They learn how to swim to get the fish, and then they climb out to ice and they cool their body there. If the ice melts, they don't have a place to go, they will drown because they are not fish, they are bears. Did you understand? I hope you did because we're going to our next lesson. Our next lesson is about camouflage. Again, camouflage. This is how animals are able to be hidden away from other animals. They can hide from other animals, especially the animals that like to hunt and kill and kill and eat them. Look at this cute little fox. This is what we call a snow fox. It's so cute. And how do they hide from humans? Because humans are polar bears, they have a white fur. They can blend into the surroundings. If they don't move, you might not be able to see them because they live in the North Pole where there's a lot of white, there's a lot of ice, snow, so they can hide. Another example is this. This is a rattlesnake. Now, look at the shape and the color of the skin of the rattlesnake. Isn't it almost the same color as the ground where it is sitting? This is so the snake can hide from potential things that will kill them. And at the same time, they can kill and eat animals that don't notice them. Camouflage is hiding to attack or to defend. Another example, and the king of all camouflage, it's what we call a chameleon. A chameleon is able to change the color of its body. This chameleon looks green, but when it is near a branch and there's no leaves nearby, it will change the color to that of the branch. So that if animals try to look for it, they will have a hard time seeing the chameleon. Did you like those animals? Let's go to our next lesson. The types of organism. The producers. Producers are living things that can make their own food. What living thing can make their own food? Let's see. Oh, plants. Plants can make their own food. They don't need to eat animals or other plants. They just need water and carbon dioxide, and then they can live. Not only that, they also provide food to other living things. That's why they are called producers. Next is the consumers, the living things that cannot eat their own food. We have the herbivores. That's the first type of consumer. What do they eat? The consumers that eat plants only. They only eat the plants. An example of herbivores are, oh, this cute little goat. And, oh, this fat cow. They like to eat grass or leaves. That's why they are herbivores. They do not eat chickens or mice or toads, just plants. Next is the carnivores, the consumers that eat other animals. The perfect example for carnivores are, look at that, the lion. They like to eat other animals. They like to eat meat. And the shark. The shark eats little fish, little animals. The third type are the omnivores, the consumers that eat other animals and plants too. The perfect example is this cute little bear. Now, people will say that bear eats fish and other small animals. Yes, but they also eat berries and fruits and nuts they find on the wild. So they are omnivores. Another example of an animal that eats both plants and animals are us, humans. We can eat both plants and animals. Now, we're going to talk about a food chain. It's how energy is passed from one animal to another. This shows the relationship between the producers and the consumers. This is an example of a food chain. First, there's grass. What animal eats grass? The zebra. Now, the energy from the grass is transferred to the zebra. And what eats a zebra? The lion. This is a simple food chain. A plant is born, an animal eats it, and another animal eats the other animal. I'll give you another example of a food chain. There's rice. There's a rat. The rat likes to eat the rice. And then a snake eats the rat. And some people also eat the snake. So a food chain does not only need three, it can be more. You can have people eating the snake. Do you understand? Because we're going to food web. Two or more chains linked together. Oh, if there are two or more food chains and they are connected, that is called a food web. This is an example of a food web. Look at the grass. It's eaten by the grasshopper. The grasshopper is eaten by the hawk. Oh no, the lizard. Then the lizard is eaten by the hawk, and when the hawk dies, it's eaten by the bacteria, and the plants use it again. Another example is another rice eaten by the rat, eaten by the spider, tarantula, and it's also eaten by the rattlesnake. And when it dies, it goes as bacteria. Or there's a grass, and then it's eaten by the rabbit, and the rabbit is eaten by the rattlesnake or the hawk. And when those die, they are eaten by the bacteria. That is a food web. It's many food chains, but they are all connected. I'll give you another example. Oh, this one is easy. Carrots are eaten by rabbits, and then the rabbits are eaten by the fox. Or a grass is eaten by a grasshopper, and a grasshopper will be eaten by a bird or an owl. This is another example of a food web. Okay, class, we don't have any more time. Next week, next time, we're gonna have a review, a short of a quiz. Goodbye.